Hey Pokey people, what's up? I'm back with another deck list video. So, I threw it together a little spicy jankness. Me and my friends who I play with decided that we were all going to play something kind of janky, kind of silly for this week's league. It ended up being like 10 people, so we ended up playing 4 rounds, which usually it's like 5. So, that was really cool that we had a little, group come together and everything. So, I ended up going 3-1 and just barely not winning out the one loss that I had. The loss that I had was against the Blood Moon Ursaluna Corner Mask Ogrepon fighting kind of variant deck. So I played Incineroar EX. I was looking through my bulk and I saw this guy and I said, hey, Blaze Blast is pretty cool because everybody has really big benches right now, and 240 is a lot of damage. So I decided to make a Incineroar deck, and I went 3-1. I beat a Lugia, I beat a Turbo Moon, and then what was the first round? Gosh, what did I play the first round? I think I played a... Shoot, I don't remember. Maybe it was Miraidon? I can't remember. It was a something or other, but I beat it. So, let's talk about it. This is really fun. I like this card. 320 is a ton of HP. 240 is a ton of damage, and I know you see all that energy consumption, but its cool ability says it costs 1 colorless less for each bench Pokemon your opponent has. And aside from doing 240, it also burns, so it's technically 260. And that's a pretty big deal, especially because we can bump that to 270 with a Vitality Ban. We've got one of those in here, and we've got some other fun stuff we're going to look at. So basically, the main line is a 4-1-3 line of Litten Torracat and Incineroar. There is a Torracat from Pokemon Go set that you can play that has an attack that I think it does like 20 damage for every damage counter on it, something like that. And then there's a Relicanth that you can play in the deck that lets you use attacks of Pokemon's evolutions that are underneath them. So you could build that if you want, but then that makes it to where you want to go Litten Torracat Incineroar instead of Rare Candying into Incineroar. So if you want to try that, you're more than welcome to. I've been having this fake out one. This is probably the better one, but the store only had one of these and 3 of these. So we got a little mix. But this little reprisal attack is pretty good for 2 fire. You can do 20 damage for each damage counter on it. And we're playing the Magma base, so you can power this up with the Magma base and do 2 damage counters on it. So you could be doing a base 40 with the Magma base and attach for turn. Or if your opponent doesn't have any kind of bench sniping abilities, you could Magma base a turn, wait, do it again, and then you can have something that's swinging for 80, which could clean up a 2-prizer. It's not, you're not actually trying to do that, but it's an option that you have. So aside from that, our other attackers in the deck, we're going to have, of course, Radiant Charizard. That is a 1-price attacker that hits for 250. Your opponent's going to take some prize cards during any game just because we're an evolution deck, and we're trying to take big knockouts throughout the game, so usually Incineroar can get us, 4 or so prizes, and then Radiant Charizard's going to try and get that last one for us. And we also have Blood Moon Ursaluna for the same thing. These are just your 2 alternative attackers. There was the game that I lost was mostly due to not having a way to deal with Cornerstone Ogrepon, as all my attackers had abilities. I was basically just using Incineroar's attacks and burning it to try and deal damage, and I was trying to clean it up with a Reprisal or attacking with Torracat. It didn't work out. So there's one card that I put in here. I put in Canceling Cologne, and I took out the Super Rod that I had for that. So I didn't play with the Canceling Cologne in the deck last night, but it's going to be in the deck moving forward just because that's a huge weakness to not be able to hit or swing. So aside from attackers, we're going to have our utility Pokemon. We're going to have our Luminion V so that we can have access to a supporter. And we can have access to a V Pokemon so that we can use the Forest Seal Stone. We're going to have Fezandipity to draw us more cards. We're going to have Manaphy. I know so much stuff is damage counters right now, so you could take the Manaphy out and up something in the deck that you want. I left it in just because we have a lot of janky stuff at local, so I wanted just a little bench protection from spread. And then we're going to have, of course, going to have a 2-2 Bidoof Bibarrel line. That's a tongue twister. We're going to have that in the deck just because we need to draw a lot of cards. We're going to be playing down our hand a lot, and we're going to want to be industrious incising up. Another thing that you're going to want to do a lot with this deck is Iono your opponent a lot to keep them from having all those cards. That's how I beat the Lugia. I was just Iono, and then drawing myself back up with industrious incisors, and I was able to deny them a hand and basically push myself the win through them not being able to take many actions. So that's our Pokemon lineup. In way of stadiums, of course, we're playing 2 of the Magma base to help power things up. Once during our turn, we can take a bench fire Pokemon, put a fire energy on it from the discard pile, and put 2 damage counters on them. So there's different things that you can do. This is just a way to sneak an attachment per turn, because your opponent's not always going to have a full bench, and that 1 fire energy isn't always going to be enough to get you able to attack. So we are also playing 6 fire energy. I had 5, and then I was finding myself digging for energy a lot during the test games that I had before I went to our local, so I added in 1 more energy, and I'm glad it was there. I'm also playing 1 double turbo. This is so that we can attack with Blood Moon, a prize earlier, or if we attach a fire to a Litten at the beginning of the game and our opponent tries to bench deny us, they're still going to have at least 2 Pokemon on their bench. I mean, they gotta have something to not get donked, and they're gonna have some kind of card or Pokemon that they've played to try and get their engine started or give themselves some type of draw. So I mean, we're at least that 3 will at least get us a 240 attack off. So or 220 with this, but the burn will make it 240. So at least we're playing that double turbo. There is an argument that you could be played, or that could be made, that you should be playing the Legacy Energy. Because it can make your Incineroars give up on this prize card. It can be used as a fire. You can do it with Radiant Charizard, so if they knock it out, they don't get a prize card. You could do it with Blood Moon or Ursaluna, because you're going to be doing it late game, and if your opponent only has 2 prizes left, they're only going to get 1 off of them. There's things that you could do for that. I am playing the Prime Catcher in the deck, so you could swap it out for Legacy Energy. I may, like next locals, swap it and see what it feels like running a tournament with both A-specs in, but for now, that's what we're going with. Item-wise, we're going 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Rare Candy. We're just maxing 4 of the things that we need. It's very imperative to get a Buddy Buddy, to get an Ultra Ball down, to get some stuff into play. We're playing 2 accompanying flutes. This is just because your opponent can just not put down a bench and try to deny you of being able to access your ability. This lets you look at the top 5 of your opponent's deck. If you find any basic Pokemon, you can put them onto their bench. This also is really dirty to do going first, so if you play it and you hit a Luminion, you just slap it on their bench and it's down and they didn't get to use its effect. So this can definitely mess with your opponent's game plan, and this is basically just to help prevent them from controlling our ability to attack. We're playing 2 Night Stretcher just because there's a lot of Pokemon in here. You're going to want to grab your Incineroars back. You're going to want to get an energy out of the discard pile if you don't have the Stadium and you don't have one in your hand. You don't want to miss an attack. You're going to want to get the Radzard. You're going to want to get the Blood Moon back if you have to toss it away early. I'm playing 1 Nest Ball. Honestly, you could cut the mana fee for another Nest Ball and just give yourself another way to get Littens and Bidoofs down. But other than that, we're playing the 4 Seal Stone to be able to just take whatever card we want out of the deck with Luminion. We're playing the Canceling Clone, which I added. This was a Super Rod, because I was debating like doing a Super Rod Night Stretcher split and whatnot. But after being stuck, not being able to deal with that Cornerstone Mask Ogre Pawn, I've definitely put the Canceling Clone in. I think I'm going to leave it in. Vitality Band, just to help us hit those odd numbers, just because 240 becomes 260 with burn, and then that 270 can take us over the edge to knock some stuff out. Lost Vacuum, because nobody's playing Lost Vacuum right now, so anybody that relies on A-Spec tool cards or play a one-of a stadium, little one of a skateboards or something, and they rely on like having that the entire game. They're not expecting something to get Lost Vacuumed, so it's very crucial to me to have this in the deck because it's a very it puts you in an advantageous position where you surprise your opponent and you take away a resource that they were expecting to just have. I'm also going to play a Counter Catcher. Obviously, we're an evolution deck, lots of turbo decks. They're probably going to get ahead on prizes on us. And then once we get Incineroar rolling, a Counter Catcher can just bring up whatever cheap 2 prizer that they have that has low HP. And so why wouldn't we play that? And then, of course, like I said, I'm playing the Prime Catcher as my ace spec. This could very easily, I don't mean to say very easily, you could swap it out for Legacy Energy, but I think if you did that, you would have to adjust some things to either include a third boss's orders because you want to be able to bring stuff up, or you're going to have to include a switching option since you're taking out the Prime Catcher. A lot of the stuff has 2 retreat cost, which is really annoying. Some of it has 3. So you definitely won't want to get stuck or stranded, so I would definitely put you in a skateboard or a switch card. If you swap this out, I would change some things to make some room, just because you don't want your opponent to be able to just strand something and you be stuck. And you also don't want to have to promote something after your opponent takes a knockout and then run the risk of it getting stuck there and you not being able to move, which is a concern that I have with the deck now. So if you do take this out, that would be a further concern that I'd have that you need to address when putting this list together for yourself. So with all that said, that brings us to just the last bit, which is the supporter line. We're of course playing for Arvind so that we can grab our rare candies, we can grab our Ultra Balls, we can grab Prime Catcher with it, we can do what we need. 3 Iono, because like I said, your opponent's probably going to get ahead on you, and we have the barrel line and we'll hopefully have it down in place, so we're going to want to Iono our opponents down to a low hand, then barrel draw back up, and we've got Fez and all these things, so we want to deny our opponent having the cards they need to take us out. So Iono is definitely a 3-up. 2 bosses orders. I'm not playing Palpad in the deck, and there are several cases where I threw away or lost a boss's orders from my hand midway through the game, and then towards the end I was like, man, I wish I had 1 more left. So be very careful with when you toss these, when you use these. Make sure to prioritize checking your prizes for these, because you're going to need them, because Incineroar is capped out. There's not things that you can do to make him do much more damage. There's a specific limit to what you can hit, so you definitely want to be able to get to the things that you can knock out in case your opponent tries to throw up some big beefy wall to deny you from winning. You want to be able to pull something up and take those last prizes. 1 Mela, just as an extra energy acceleration, because like I said, we won't always be able to attack with him for 1 energy. So Mela's going to be able to, if one of our opponents were knocked out by an opponent's during our last turn, or it does not even attack, it's just knocked out. You can attach a basic fire energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon, and you can draw up to 6. So it's an energy acceleration card that also just lets you have a little bit of card draw if your hand's low, so that's much better. Crispin's not as good because it's specifically 2 different types of energy, so I mean you could just go and get the fire out of the deck and put it on him and then just fail to find anything else, but Mela just gives you an added benefit to what we're already trying to do. And then 1 Professor Turo's scenario. Like I said, Incineroar's big beefy boy, 320 HP. If you're playing against somebody that hits for a lot but still can't knock him out, if they leave you with 20, 30 HP, you can Professor Turo up and just deny all those prizes, and since you were attacking most likely with a single energy, you're not really losing a lot of your resources. You just pull up another Litten Evolve into Incineroar, or just pull up another Incineroar, slap that energy down on him, and then attack again with a fresh one. I mean, I did this at least twice in the 4 rounds. They were best of 1, by the way, so just the 4 games that I played, I at least did that twice to deny people prizes, and it was very good. So yeah, that's the deck. I'm really happy with it. I had a lot of fun. I don't know why I said that like it was a question. Happy with it? No, I'm really happy with it. It was a ton of fun to play with, and I definitely, going forward, I kind of like just playing whatever and not worrying about meta too much, because it's definitely lets you have a better time. Because if you win, hey, that's awesome, you won with Incineroar EX, and if you lose, it's not that big a deal because you were playing Incineroar EX. So yeah, just play what you want. I mean, that goes to show. If you like something and you think it's good, build it to the best of your abilities, and don't let naysayers, don't let tryhards tell you that it's trash. Don't let them tell you that you need to just play this, this, or this. Like, you can win with things that you like. You can't always win, and you're not going to go take down a cup or something just out of playing what you love. But like, if you're going to locals and you're not trying to like worry about points, and you're not trying to finish in top whatever at this tournament, whatever, just play whatever you want, have fun, and enjoy the game, because it's supposed to be a hobby. And don't let anybody get hyper competitive and try and make you feel bad for playing a deck that you like. So it's even more of the reason to play stuff like this, is just to shut all that down. So I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already to the channel. I like doing this, and I'd love to see the subscriber count go up. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.